Okay. All right. Thank you very, very much. Good evening or good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone that's on the call today. And then I welcome you once again to today's session. Like Rafia said, a lot of us, most of us have started from the beginning and have continued to be present and continue the progress or progressing on this particular program. I commend you. And in order for us to be able to really get that basic, considering a lot of us backgrounds, we're just coming out from school, and like I was told, is we have to keep it as simple and basic as possible so that you can be able to get a lot and you can be able to understand what we are trying to take you through. I'm also sure that we have been told that this is just the beginning of the program, so that we don't give you so much that you become confused about. So today, talking about Exchange, we are supposed to take Exchange server, right? But I'm going to start with Exchange Online. The reason is this. It's starting from the basic. If we want to go, on-prem, talking on-prem, we'll get a lot confused. So it's better we start from where we can easily get it, and then we can take it to that complex environment kind of. So today's session topic is about introducing you to Exchange Online, and we'll see a bit of managing Exchange Online. And then when we talk about Exchange in a bit, you'll get to understand what Exchange really is, right? So just go to my next slide. Here are the agendas for today. And like I said, you get to be introduced to what Microsoft Exchange is. Microsoft Exchange, that's the word. Then before we now start talking about whether it is online or whether it is hosted locally in your data center, which is called on-premises. We'll look at managing the Exchange Online mailboxes, looking at the type of users. In the last few sessions that we have had, the few weekends, we've talked a lot about Active Directory or managing users, creating users and groups within Office 365 or even on-premises Exchange, on-premises Active Directory. So you will see how tightly integrated these services are. When I mean tightly integrated, before you can manage your emails or manage anything in Exchange Online, it relies a lot with your identity services provider, or it relies a lot with your identity services. So because who are you sending emails from to, or who are you receiving email from? Those all of those have to do with some type of users or contact within your Active Directory. We'll see all of that kind of relate. And for us to be able to kind of make the best use of this particular session, if you have questions, please would like us to, you can drop it. And I think, Rafia, in case I'm not, because right now I can't see my screen, my chat screen, except I go there. I would like us to clear things even as they are coming so that we don't rush into just finishing slides. It's not all about finishing slide of finishing what we have on the agenda. Is all about them, the participants getting as much information as possible and understanding exactly where we are at one point. So I would like, once there's a question that needs, answer or attention, please call my attention to it and we'll treat it accordingly. Okay. Then part of what we'll do here today is to do a bit of creating mailboxes, or even walking through the Exchange Online portal, where you can see how to walk around, navigating around the particular Exchange Online portal, just like we did for the users that we did the last time. Moving on, these are the objectives of today class. At the end of the class today, you should be able to have a basic understanding of what Microsoft Exchange and Exchange Online is. You should be able to know, or you will have learned how to manage mailboxes or user mailboxes, any type of different type of mailboxes in Exchange Online, and then you will have an understanding of Microsoft 365 group. There are other groups. I hope I'll be able to give you more information about the different type of groups that we have in Exchange Online. And then we'll talk, if time permits, we'll talk briefly about permission on the basic level. And then we'll be able to see, have that hands-on experience, right, on how to manage your Exchange Online environment. So before we, you know, go in, really, I would like to ask, let me bring up my, okay. So I would like to ask, the participants that we have here to kind of tell me if you have any knowledge at all of email services, or if you have ever used services like Gmail, Outlook, or Yahoo, right? Can you, with a raise of hand, do you have any idea of what we call email services? Okay, so I'm going to be, oh, great, 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 great. So since a lot of people have actually know what we call email service. So that's great. Now, can somebody just unmute your mic and tell us what you understand by email service? We call a name or just, okay, somebody, okay. Rafiat, can you unmute somebody to tell us, just at random, pick at random. I don't know if they can unmute themselves. Hello, Rafiat, are you there? Okay,
Yes, sorry, I'm here.
Okay. Is it possible for you to help us unmute somebody at random to
Okay.
explain to us what they understand by email services?
Sure, we will.
Okay, thank you. So if your mic has been unmuted, so please just tell us what you understand by that among the people that raised their hands. Rafiat Alpha, or should I move on if it's not possible?
You might have to move on for now. Once I have that
Okay.
once I have them unmuted, I'll change. If once I change the settings, I'll let you know.
Okay. I think they
Sorry.
are actually dropping it on the chat. So let's make use
Titi,
of the chat then. Yes.
I just Akin Akin Sola. Sorry if I don't pronounce your name very well. You can unmute your mic, Iben, and let us know what mail services are. Akin Gushola also. Yeah, Akin Gushola Ibem. Please unmute your mic and speak.
Email services, I am able to send mail, receive mails in bulk to people, friends, organizations, and also to market, I mean, to help with in marketing. So on Yahoo and on Yahoo Mail and also on our Outlook on Outlook.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Who was that? Sorry,
Akin.
Sola. Sola. Akin Sola or Akin for
Ebenezer,
short.
Ebenezer,
Thank you.
Ebenezer is
Ebenezer. Okay. That was Ebenezer. All right. Thank you very much. Do we have any other person that is unmuted that want to add?
Okay, so I am unmuting Amaka. Allow mic. Sorry, not that.
Okay.
Amaka, please, you can unmute your mic now and speak. Amaka Chinoyerem.
Okay. All right. Okay. Don't worry. Never mind. Joseph, let's continue. Let's continue. Thank you, Ebenezer, for the introduction or for the explanation you just gave to us. Yes, email services. It's to send, to receive messages, and then just like you said, Yahoo. Like I said earlier, if you have your Yahoo, when you log into your Yahoo, you are able to send email or receive email. Somebody asks you, what is your email address? You give them email that is either at Yahoo or at gmail.com or at outlook.com or life.com. So email services. The purpose of email services is for collaboration and communication. Collaboration and communication. So thank you everyone that participated and the people that dropped what they understood by that on the chat. Thanks. So moving on, right? Now let's explain what is Microsoft Exchange or Microsoft Exchange Online. Look at a scenario where you have a business or you have a need, you need to send somebody an information. Let's take maybe let's come down to your friend's level. You need to send your friend a message who is currently either not in the country or not in the same state where you are. You need to send them a message. In the past or in the olden days, what we use is to write a letter and send it through a post office to your friend, and the postal office get the letter based on the address that is on the letter. They are able to tell the destination of that particular letter, and they get it to the destination. Your friend reads the letter and writes back to you. So the letter today, writing letter in physical paper has not been eliminated completely, but it has been made more easier through email messages. So email messages is a way or a tool that allow you to be able to send messages to people who are not exactly where you are, whether they are not within your organization, they are not within your school, they are not within your locality, but you are able to send messages to them electronically. Electronically, that is, we must point that out, right? So that is what Microsoft Exchange is all about. Now, when we now talk of Microsoft Exchange Online, it's actually a cloud-based email services, just like your Google, your Outlook, your Gmail, and any other email service that you have out there. And for those of us that have started work, right, either in your school, even your school, or your the place where you have started work, your company right now, for you to communicate effectively with other members, you need an account, an email account that you are able to use to send and receive email from people. So Exchange Online is actually part of the Microsoft 365 suite of products, right? We've gone through the basic of cloud and basic of Microsoft 365. So it's part of Microsoft 365 services or suite of products. And like I said, the features that you are able to get from Exchange Online is all about communication. Communication in the sense that you want to send messages either to your colleague, to your friends, to family members, or to a business partner out there. That is what communication is all about. You send to them, they reply to you, and you can also kind of track it. Then we have, apart from emailing, you have what we call calendar. So let's look at things this way. You have a need to, you want a way by which you can manage your meetings, you can manage events, you can manage other communication beyond email, right? How can you be able to keep a tab of the appointments that you have in the future? You can say you put it on your phone as a reminder, but reminder is not so effective. But your email services can also manage your calendar for you. Everybody right now, if you pick your mobile phone and you go to the one of the app on your phone is what is called calendar. The calendar allow you to be able to know the dates and also see the appointments that you have ahead of time. Now, when you create email messages, a calendar item from within your messaging platform, it goes into your calendar. And each time you open your calendar, is anybody, please, is there a question, or please, if you're not speaking, just mute yourself. Thank you. So, okay, I guess I will continue. So now, like I said, calendar, you are able to use calendar to manage your appointments, manage your meetings, and things of such nature. You also have what we call shared mailboxes, right? With Microsoft Exchange Online. Shared mailboxes is a kind of mailbox that is created for more than one person to access, like for group of people that can access that particular mailbox. They all need to know the content of that mailbox. Every email that is coming into the mailbox, more than one person need to have a view to it. And also, it can be in a situation where one user have left the organization, and that user, maybe from the sales department, for instance, the user has been communicating with a very key and important customer. Now, you are coming in to take over from this particular person. How do you get to have a view or get history of what conversation has transpired between the person who have left the organization and this important customer? Is by giving you some form of access to that exited user's mailbox. This mailbox now that you are giving access to can be called a shared mailbox. So which means you are sharing the access to that particular mailbox with some other persons within your organizations. And then we have group mailboxes. Group mailboxes is for mailbox that is being used by, or let me say, just group. A situation where you have the different departments within an organization, right? You have the sales, you have the IT. It's not one person that is within this department. You have multiple people. So what if you need to send a message that is meant for everybody within a particular department? Instead of sending the message or email to them, selecting each of the participants, each of the recipients, we call them recipients, selecting each of the persons or the people that receive the email one after the other. You can actually create a group. I know you guys, Emmanuel touched grouping, creation of group last week. So you can create a group, put those members of the various departments in them, and you can send email to that group, and everybody within the group automatically gets a copy of that message. So that is majorly, what group mailbox is all about. So moving on, right? There are key features of Exchange or Microsoft Exchange Online. One key feature is the fact that it's a cloud-based. And what does it mean? It means you do not need to set up any form of infrastructure in your local data center or in your own premises. You don't need physical servers. You don't need physical switches to, set up, get your email services working. It's already being set up for you by Microsoft and is in the cloud. So all you need to access it is just internet access for you to be able to get access to your email in the cloud, just like you would for Outlook account, you would for Gmail and Yahoo, thereabout. Now, accessibility, when it comes to Exchange Online, is all about accessibility, meaning you can access it from anywhere you are in the world. And there are different ways by which you can access it. One of those ways is to use your Outlook. If we are familiar with, to get, sorry, if we are familiar with, a minute, please. If you are familiar with Outlook app on your computer, if you have Outlook app on your computer, so you have option to either use Outlook to access your email, or you use the web browser to access your email, right? So using web browser, you can use any browser like whether Google Chrome, whether Microsoft Edge, or Microsoft Chromium, or Firefox to access your email from anywhere, like I said again. And you can also use your mobile device. And any of these apps could be used to access it from your mobile device as well. And the other feature is the security and protection feature that come with the Exchange Online. Now, Exchange Online have inbuilt email security that is built in to help you prevent things like spam email, prevent things like phishing, and then viruses from getting into your mailboxes or getting into the organization, right? So the protection here, though sometimes you have to add extra layer of security to help you further protect the information you have in the various mailboxes within your Exchange Online tenant or your Exchange Online environment. So please note that it is very, very important for businesses that handle sensitive information to ensure there is security with their messaging platform. And then the other thing we have is integration with other tools. Your Exchange Online integrates seamlessly with other Microsoft 365 applications, applications like Microsoft Teams, applications like SharePoint, and even OneDrive. So when we say integration, for instance, right from my email, I can decide to post a message into my Teams, into a Teams channel or Teams group, and everybody in that team will be able to get access to that message that I have posted. Also, I can decide to share a document, and every document I share or every document that come in my email as an attachment can actually be saved either to a SharePoint site or a OneDrive. So you will get, as time go on, you will get to understand what things and SharePoint are also. But just to let you know that Microsoft Exchange does not stand on its own. It can stand on its own and it can integrate seamlessly with other tools that you have, available. But Teams on a light note is just for chatting and video calling, while SharePoint is for file storage and collaboration, sharing. So the third option that the third thing that I will talk about here is in terms of high availability. One benefit or key features of your Exchange Online is the fact that it is always available. Just like your Gmail, anytime you want to access it, is always there. You have access to it almost all the time, right? So likewise, for Exchange Online, is always available because in terms of uptime, power, cooling, everything has been taken care of by Microsoft. So you are just coming to come and use the services after you have made certain payment to Microsoft to give you access to those services. Now, moving on, right? Okay, so yeah, moving on, let's look at a few examples of the usage or use case scenario for Microsoft Exchange Online. You can consider small organizations or organizations that are just starting up, like a startup company, and they will need to be able to communicate with their customers. They will need to be able to communicate with their users. They will need to be able to communicate with their even partners or vendors thereabout. So small organization or startup organization can just easily start up Exchange Online uh, tenant and create their users and start sending and receiving emails among themselves or send mail to other people or business partners that they may have out there. So let's look at it this way. Imagine you, right, that just started a new part-time job, right, at a marketing company. And then let's say your boss set up, they set you up with an email address using Exchange Online. What that means is you can now send and receive email from either your Outlook clients, or using your browser or your mobile phone to your boss and even your co-workers as well. And now there's a need for you and your team to meet every week, maybe every Monday at a particular time on Monday. Like I talk about, one of the feature is keeping is calendars and meetings. So you can easily go into your Outlook, create a calendar meeting invite rather, and share it with every team members within your department or your unit. What happens is they get that email or that invitation as an email in their mailboxes. And now, what about if you have a file that you want everybody to have access to? Right. Now, the file resides with you, but you want people to be able to have access to that particular file, or even a folder or a directory that contains some files that you want to be able to collaborate on. You want your colleagues to contribute to content in that particular directory or folder. All you need to do is to share it with them directly via your email, or you even share it using OneDrive, but the information or notifications still go to them via email too. So since all and everything is in the cloud, you can do this even when you are not in your office. Remember, you can do it, you can access email or Exchange Online, you can access it from anywhere. Just like it applies to small organizations, it applies to new startup companies that are just coming up. The same thing or the same approach applies to large organizations. For large organizations, it eliminates the need for them to have an on-premises email server, and then they can be able to save on costs. They can be able to save on maintenance costs that might be, maybe too much for them. So, moving on, right, is let's see the types of mailboxes that you have within Exchange Online, right? There are um, three. There are three type of Exchange Online mailboxes that you have. You have what we call the user mailboxes. Now, these user mailboxes, right? They are, like I said earlier, you're starting a job in a company, a part-time job in a company, and you need a way. Your boss you have been linked with your boss, and then your boss wants a way to be able to communicate with you. What they will do is to create an account for you, a user mailbox for you. That user mailbox is owned by you, and only you will have access to it. Now, before the user mailbox comes, they need to first create your account in the Microsoft 365 platform. Once they create the account in the Microsoft 365 platform, that goes into the identity provider, which is Entra ID, right? Now, from there, they then give you access to a mailbox through activating or assigning an Exchange Online license to you. So automatically, you get access to that mailbox. Uh, then you have another type of mailbox. I've talked a bit about it earlier, which is called shared mailbox. Shared mailbox is a type of mailbox that allow multiple users to access it at the same time. So multiple users can access the mailbox. They can all read the content. They can all reply to email messages that is in that shared mailboxes. And even though it is shared, or an example of a shared mailbox can be a mailbox of a user who have left the organization that you're taking over from, or a group mailbox, like something like info. Now, when email comes into info, for instance, that's information at yourcompany.com. That mailbox does not belong to one person. Multiple people will have access to that mailbox to be able to pick the information that concerns them and act on it accordingly. You can have the sales department have access to the info. You can have the MD of the organization having access to the info. You can have different key stakeholders within the organization having access to the info. So that is the reason why you will create it as a shared mailbox, so that those people that need access to it can easily get access to it and read the content of that mailbox, or reply to whoever has sent email into the mailbox, so that the person is not that they're just sending email and nobody is taking ownership or responsibility on what request has sent to that particular mailbox. And the third one that we have is what we call resource mailboxes. Now, what are resource mailboxes? Resource mailboxes are mailboxes that are used. They are not used for a user. They are not owned by a user. It's not even owned by a group, but it is used majorly to manage equipments or resources or device. It can be devices, right, within your organization. What is an example of this? In your company, or even, let's say, yes, in your company, right? Or even your church, for instance, or your school, you have a conference room. Now, this conference room, a lot of people will want to use the conference room, and there might be a situation where the marketing people want to use the conference room, and then the sales people also want to have access to the conference room. They are having a visitor. And then there's the training unit who is expecting participants or students, maybe a few number of students to come for training. They also want to make use of the conference room. Now, everybody wants to use it, let's say on a Monday morning at between the hour of 8 a.m. to 12 noon, right? And another person wants to use it between the hour of 10 to 12 noon. and another person want to use between the hour of 9 to 10. Now, if you look at these three categories of people that want to use that conference room, it's the time all conflicts with each other. Now, if there is no way for you to manage that conference room so that if sales team are coming to say they want to use it, by the time they check, all they need to do is to check the calendar of this device or of the room that we are talking about. So by the time they check, they will see that, oh, marketing people have already booked this particular room. So it's not available to be booked by anybody else at that time until the event that is happening in that room completes. What about a situation where you have maybe just two projectors? You have just only two projectors within the organization, and three trainings must happen at the same time in the week or in a day. Now, two people have already booked the two projectors. The third person also want to come and book one of the projectors as well. And if there's nothing to tell them that there is no projector available on ground, it might cause some kind of confusion. Oh, I'm the one that's supposed to use it. No, it's not you, it's me. It's me, it's not you. What about your cars? Let's look at, in an organization, they have a car. They might have fleet of cars, right? And you have drivers, and you have the department, maybe the admin department that manages them and manages the drivers, manages the cars. Now, if the different people within the organization, maybe everybody, let's say the IT team need to visit a customer who is having issue on the network, or they're having a project, they need to always go to the customer side every morning between Monday and Friday. Now, the sales team want to go and pay a visit to a customer, right? And marketing team, they are going for an event, to be able to generate, to do for marketing campaign and the rest. Now, everybody want to go out and they all need a car. How do you ensure that one group does not just call the driver and say, we are going out, please get ready. And then the next group, IT, no, it's very important, we need to get to this customer. At the end of the day, when some of the group want to go out, there is actually no car for them. And the company knows that it's important, or the team knows that it's important they are the customer because the customer is kind of having some issues or project is ongoing. Now, to prevent all of those confusion within an organization, you will create mailboxes to manage just your resources, to manage your cars, to manage the rooms, to manage your projector, so that once anybody has booked it, if somebody comes to request for it, they will already see that somebody has booked it for a particular time, and they can then look at the calendar, which time will those equipment or cars will be free for them to make use of. That is what equipment or resource mailboxes are, all about. So moving on now, when it comes to mailboxes, in Microsoft 365, right? For there are different plans. It's not a kind of one size fits all. If you have done from the introduction, if they have introduced you, I'm not sure. But I will also show us a screen where we can see different types of mailbox sizes that we have. So now there are different plans. There is the personal plan, there is the business plan, there is even enterprise plan, there is the government plan, there is a non-profit organization plan, right? Each of these plans have a particular size allocated to the mailboxes that come for a user. Now, what do I mean? If you go to your Gmail today, you are either given, I can't remember whether it's about 7 gig or more, 10 gig thereabouts, that you have access to for your mailbox. Now, when that mailbox is filled up when you have been receiving emails, you sending here and there, and then your mailbox gets filled up. You will not be able to send or receive email anymore until you clear up the space. It's the same thing when we are talking about storage here. It's the same thing as your smartphone. You have your smartphone, it has a storage. So they might get to a time after you have downloaded app, you have installed app and you install and install, or you have saved a lot of video or music on your phone. Now you will be seeing that you can be getting messages that say storage full, storage full, storage full. The same thing applies in Exchange Online. So every plan have their own mailbox size that is allotted to that user. Now for the small business, you have a 50 gig. Each user have 50 gig of mailbox storage for every user. Every user have 50 gig of mailbox storage. Now, let me quickly open. I'll come back here. Let me quickly open. I think I have a page that is currently open. Okay, please. Can you see my screen, Rafia? Please let me confirm if you can see the Exchange Online plan page that is opened. Can we?
Yes, it's open, please.
All right, thank you. So here, if you are seeing, as you are seeing my screen, you have two major plans. When it comes to Exchange Online, you have two major plans. You have what we call Plan 1, and you have Plan 2. Now, this Plan 1 is what comes with a lot of the Microsoft 365 plan. For business standard, it is Plan 1 you have there. For Exchange Online Plan 1, there's this standalone. You can be standalone. It's Plan 1 you have there. For shared mailbox, for instance, it's also Plan 1 you have. So now this is what it means. You have 50 gig of mailbox storage for every mailbox that you create under this plan or under this plan. While on the other plan, the higher plan, any enterprise plan default with 100 gigabytes of mailbox storage. So you can try to check in your Gmail or your Hotmail or Outlook, or even the account that has been given to you on this platform to be able to try out things. You can check. You can check it. You will see. We will show you how you check what is the size of your current mailbox that you have access to. So you can check it and you'll be able to see whether you have 50 gig or you have 100 gig access, mailbox storage for your mailbox. Now, you will notice something else here also. This is saying you can send a single message. What this is saying is that a single message can be as large or as big as 150 MB. So if you would want to send an email to somebody and both the body of the message or maybe you attach a document to that email, it must not be more than 150. If it is more than 150 MB, it's going to tell you that it is bigger than the size that is allowed. So you must ensure that you keep that in mind. So you can even test it out from the account given to you. Try to send email to somebody and attach something that is more than 150 MB, and you'll see the message that you receive. So I just wanted to show us that there are different plans, and each plan have different sizes when it comes to mailboxes. So now, what happens when you have a mailbox in your Exchange Online mailbox get filled up? What happens? One of the things that happen is that you will not be able to, you'll be getting a kind of, while it is getting full, you'll be getting warning that your mailbox is full, right? And A minute, I'm trying to get something to write. Why it's not? But don't. Let me see if I can write. No, it's not writing. Okay. Trying to get something to write, but oh, not. Okay. Let me just
When you
continue
when you
like
when you
this.
pick later, I think there is an option for you to pick a pen also.
Yes, I'm seeing the option to pick a pen, but it's just not writing. Only the latter is working for now. I don't know why. But let's continue so I don't delay. So now, what happens when your mailbox become full? For you to continue to receive email, for you to continue to send email, you have to do something to the filled up mailbox. This is where what we call retention policies comes in. Now, what retention policy does is it helps you control how long emails are kept in your mailboxes. And say, for instance, if you go to your mailbox, you have different folders. You have the inbox folder, you have the sent item folder, you have your draft, you have junk folder, you have deleted folder. Now, let's say you have been deleting email contents and there's so much deleted item or deleted email in your deleted item box, in your deleted item folder, right? And also your spam folder have so much content. Each of this content in each of these locations is adding up to the total mailbox size that you have. So now, for us to continue to receive email and ensure that the mailbox does not get filled up and disrupt services for us, we have to kind of configure policy that automatically help to move mailbox content from your inbox and move it to another inbox, another mailbox that is called archive. Archive means is a location where you store information that is not frequently accessed, information that is not frequently or less frequently accessed. So you can have emails that you have received since, let's say, 2000. You hardly call up those emails for anything today. So what you can do is to create a policy that moves that email that you have received since 2000, that move it into the archive mailbox and keep it there for you for safekeeping. Also, the content of our deleted items or even the spam folder, we want a situation whereby they are cleaned up, or that particular folder is cleaned up maybe every 6 months. You should check the deleted item folder and delete whatever is there, or check the spam folder container and delete whatever is there. So that way it will clean up the mailbox and free the space for us. So that's also what retention policy can help you do. Okay. Now, moving on, let's talk a little bit about shared mailboxes. I've talked about it before, but let's look at it a bit closer, right? That's one of the type of mailboxes that you have in Office 365 or in Exchange Online, right? You have a shared mailbox that is used for customer inquiries, right? You can have things like inquiry at company.com, or like we said again, info@company.com. Now, when anything that has to do with inquiry, you need the sales team to always have access to it in case it's somebody that is requesting for a product that you sell within your organization. So the sales team can get access to it and attend to that particular inquiry message or inquiry from the, and get back to the person who is making the inquiry. Then, like I said again, multiple users can have, or team members can have access to reply. Now, it's not everybody can kind of reply to the email because we all have access to it, a full access, or depending on the kind of access that is given, you can reply to it. I mean, you can reply to the messages that come from that particular shared mailbox. Then you can use shared mailbox to efficiently manage customer emails, like it giving you like a central location where you can manage all communication from your customers, right? And then it helps you to improve the response time and coordination. Coordination in the sense that it's not a thing that maybe the customers are sending email to one particular person and the person is not around. God forbid, maybe the person either went on leave or on a sick leave or something happened and he couldn't just be around. So instead of you not having a view to the person's mailbox, because every user's mailbox, your own personal mailbox is personal to you. Nobody else have access to it except you give them access one way or the other. But it's personal to you. So now that user is not available and customers are sending email or messages to the user or to the employee and is not here to tell us what they are requesting, the customer is requesting. But if we have a shared mailbox, we can have a central point where everybody can go in to check, oh, what are the email messages that came in the last 30 minutes or in the last 1 hour? Let's check and, somebody can reply to it. Now, other people can come, oh, so person send this message. They can see, oh, someone have replied to the customer. So that way, you can have a view. Everybody, there's a kind of coordination with the shared mailbox. And like I said again, for team collaboration. Collaboration in the sense that more than one person can have access to the mailbox at a time, and it facilitates better customer service in the sense that once the mail come, everybody gets to see it. You don't have to wait for people to say, oh, I didn't see it. That's why I didn't reply. So customer will get response time as fast as possible, or as in the moment somebody see it, they are able to attend to it. Um, Moving on, right? Let's talk a bit about groups or Microsoft 365 group. God, I wish. Let me see. Let me see. I think I want to call up. Call up. And help me. Come in. Okay. So now, just a minute. It's better. Okay. So now, when you come to group in Office 365, right? You have different type of groups. You have security group. You have uh, you have what we call uh, email security group. Email security group. You have distribution group. Distribution group, and you have Microsoft 365 group. Now, what email security group does is when we say security group, a security group is just a group in your Active Directory or in your Entra ID that contain a number of people or a group of people who need or who have need or who have need of similar permissions or who does similar things and needs similar permissions or settings for them to be able to work right. Now, let's say we have created a group that we assign, a security group that we assign access to a particular file to be able to access. Everybody in that group can access the file. But we want to now ensure that we can still send email communication to that security group. then what we do is we will enable it or configure it in such a way that we can send email to it, to that particular group, right? So it's not designed originally for that. Security groups are not designed originally for email communication. It's designed to assign permissions or create a kind of boundary, between group of users and what they have access to within an organization. Then you have the distribution group. Now, this distribution group, natively in Exchange Online, is purposely for email distribution only. You can only use it to send email and receive email from people. Now, when you create a distribution group and you assign people to the distribution group, once you send email to that distribution group, the email drops in the inbox directly in the inbox of every member of that distribution group. So this is purely for email communication. It cannot be used for anything else but email communication. But mind you, this distribution group and security group, they don't have a mailbox attached to them. They don't. They only have members. So when email comes, it goes directly into the mailboxes of each of the members of that group, right? The same thing applies to the email security group. Now, the third group, which is Microsoft 365 group, this group have a mailbox attached to it. There's a mailbox attached to the group. There's what we call SharePoint site attached to the group for sharing documents or storing all the documents for this group in one location. Then the mailbox to keep all the email that is sent to this group also in one location. Although you can configure it such that every email to the group also drop directly in the inbox of every member, but the mailbox still exists and contain all the content to read. Sorry, give me a second, please. Yeah, sorry for the breaking transmission, right? So now this M365 group, like I said, there's a mailbox that is used to store all the email contents that come for this group. So if I'm a member of the group, let's say this group have the following members. Members, let's say, can you put it in bracket? Titi, Rafia, let's say Joseph. Okay, let's say that these three of us, or more than three, we are members of this group, this M365 group. Maybe the group name is mentor group, or mentor program is what we call it. So every mentor that is on this particular program, we have them as member of this particular group. Now, there's a mailbox that is tied to this mentor group or mentor program group. Group. Now, if they send email to the group, I can either go straight into the mailbox of this group and access the content, or you can configure the group such that any email that comes, a copy also drop in my own mailbox, a copy drop directly in Rafia's mailbox, a copy drop directly in Joseph's mailbox. You can configure it that way, right? Now, let's say me right now, I pick a file and I share it with this group called mentor group. What happened is that file or the document that I've shared, maybe a Word document, it will go into the SharePoint space, a SharePoint site that is created for this group. SharePoint site has been created for it as well. is going to go into this SharePoint site. And every single one of us can go into the SharePoint site and have access or a view to that particular Word document. There's also another feature that is in the group is the Teams. No, Microsoft Teams. So that MS Teams. And when I say MS, I mean Microsoft. Microsoft Teams is there. What does this allow us to do? Allow us to be able to chat with one another. That's every member of this group. Any chat we drop on the group, every member see it and can reply to it. We can also use this schedule meeting and schedule it to this group also. Automatically, every member of the group will get the meeting invite and they can attend the meeting. So that's what Microsoft 365 group allow us to do. Now, this mailbox that is here is actually a shared mailbox. If you see it here, it's a shared mailbox that is created here. So that's why multiple people, every member of the internship program can have access to the mailbox. It's automatically a shared mailbox. Please keep that in mind. Okay. So okay, moving on. Let's see so that we can see how this thing work. So I've said it again. We have, when it comes to Office 365 group or key features of groups, irrespective of the groups that it is, whether it's Office 365 or Microsoft 365 group, or it's an email distribution group or email security group. Something that is common to all of them is the email conversation. Group members can send and receive emails from a shared group mailbox. Or group member can send email, or people outside of the group can send email to a security group and a distribution group. Why also to an Office 365 or a Microsoft 365 group. But the addition or the plus that you have with Microsoft 365 group is the fact that it gives you access to a shared mailbox that every member can send email from or receive email into, and can also use it to manage the group calendar, right? So the other benefit that is common to the Microsoft 365 group is is for you to be the group or the team to share files easily with all group members via SharePoint Online. SharePoint Online, right? So I'm going to continue. Let's see again the example or use cases for Microsoft 365 group. We have a situation where you have projects. You have a project. Like I said earlier, IT team, they have a project to go and deploy Microsoft 365 for a customer. Now they can create a group or a Microsoft 365 group that help you to store all the project information in one central location. All email communication as a concern that project will be stored in the group, in the Microsoft 365 group mailbox. The calendars for project meetings or project briefing, for project the stand-up meeting that you do before you start. Oh, we've started this, we did this yesterday. These are what the activities or the tasks we completed yesterday. These are things that we are going to be doing today. These are the challenges that we face. So that meeting for the group allow you to be able to meet and discuss, discuss blockers, discuss progresses, discuss, activities. And documents are in one place. So what kind of document will you keep here? You keep things like project plan, you keep things like scope of work, you keep things like anything, maybe project architecture and everything. They are all in the in the a central location, which is within the Microsoft 365 group that has been created for that project. So moving on, let's talk quickly about permission. I've been talking about permission. For instance, I said you took a part-time job in an organization, and this job, somebody was already the exact job that you are going to be doing. Somebody was doing it before you came, and the employee has resigned, right? Now you came in, you need to pick up the conversation, especially for an important customer that wanted a service of your organization, so that the customer does not get angry that nobody's attending to him. Okay. So what they did is to want to give you access to the person's mailbox, so that you can be able to continue the conversation from where it stopped, right? Now, I also said earlier, I said your own mailbox that is assigned to you, your own personal mailbox that was created for you, you have full access to it. Only you have access to it, just like only you have access to your Gmail, or only you have access to your Hotmail, or only you have access to your Outlook account. The same way in any organization, email account that is assigned to you is for you, and nobody else can access it, right? Okay, so what the access you have there is called full access, right? Now, you can decide to give, the access. Now, that the shared mailbox that they have converted, that employee that left, they converted this mailbox from a standard mailbox to a shared one. When they converted it, they need to give you access. They can give you also on it. They can either give you a full access. That full access means you'll be able to log into that mailbox. You'll be able to send from that mailbox. You'll be able to receive from it. But there might be times where they gave you access to a mailbox and the only access they want to give you. But now, let me better explain this on behalf and send us in another light. In your job, let's say you are the PA to an MD. Now, the PA to the MD, what they do is they need access, or they are able to help the MD to manage appointments, manage certain activity, or certain, manage their visitors, manage their calendars, manage their email, call their attention to important emails that have come. Now, if they have to manage appointment, it means they need access to the MD. You need access to the MD's calendar. If you have to manage MD's email, you need access to his mailbox. If you have to, it's just as simple as that. You want to be able to manage the mailbox of your MD, so that you can manage his appointments. You can manage, you can see the important emails that you need to quickly respond, that need his attention, right? So in that case, you will not want to give full access of your mailbox. You as the MD will not want to give you full access to his mailbox, but you will want to give you an access that you can send email as if he's the one sending email. 1, 2, you can send email on his behalf, right? And when people see this, if you use send as, once you send email, they will think it's coming directly from they will think it's MD that has sent the email directly. So it is going, what people are seeing is the MD's email address as the sender, right? So he allows you, this send as permission allows you, the PA, to send email as your MD, or a shared mailbox, like the shared mailbox of the employee that left. So when people are seeing the mail, they will think it's the owner of the mailbox that sent the email directly by himself or herself. Now, this third one, which is sent on behalf, is It allows users to send email on behalf of another user with a note indicating the delegation. What do we mean by this statement here, right? When you are giving a send on behalf permission on another person's mailbox. Now, when you want to send the email, when you send the email out, I will see the email as coming from you, not the person. It will say it's coming from you, the PA, but you are sending it on behalf of your MD. So me that I'm seeing it, I know it is the MD that you are the one that sent the mail, but the MD kind of gave you permission to send it because I can see you are sending the email on behalf of your MD. I will relate this particular one now to when you want to sign for somebody. I think maybe on one way or the other, you must have been in a situation where you have to sign for someone. Now, the person is not there to receive whatever, let me say, a package in an organization. An employee received, make an order, purchase something online, and send it to the office. Now, when it gets to the delivery people, got to the office gate, the security directed them to the reception. The receptionist received the package, but he must sign that he received the package. So he can either sign, but before he signs, he will put something like, you will see him put something like F. If you see anything they sign, they put F, and then you now put your signature, right? That means you are signing for somebody. You are signing for somebody. So if tomorrow something happened and you say you did not receive your package, the delivery person who have received your signature or received somebody's signature who signed for it, they can actually look at it and say, oh, so person signed for this on your behalf, right? So the same way, when you send a message on behalf of somebody, this note that says on behalf of, it is Titi is sending Titilope at M365, Nigeria M365 community.com. Send on behalf of Olajimoke at M365, it shows that I'm sending on her behalf. And I couldn't have sent on her behalf if she has not given me that permission to be able to send on her behalf. So that's the note that is there that tells the recipient that you are sending on behalf of somebody else, right? So let me bring another screen that maybe better explain it. Now, using the example of a manager granting full access permission to his assistant. Now, the assistant can manage his meeting requests. He can send meeting invite on his behalf. He can accept meeting on his behalf. He can handle his email because he gave him full access to the assistant. So the assistant now will help the manager to manage his schedules, that's meetings. It will help him manage his schedules, and it will ensure timely response to emails. So which means there are some important email that might come for the manager. The assistant can actually reply to them on his behalf. Though before he reply, he might need to converse or discuss with the manager to know what the content of the response should be, right? This is just to give you a kind of more insight into what giving access or example of such a full access permission can do. We have talked a lot about this, the send on behalf, and then the send as is that you are able to send. So now with this full access, let me go back. With this full access, what it means is, say you can do your email. So every response that this assistant sends from the mailbox of the manager me that I'm receiving that email, that response, I'm seeing it like it is the manager that sent the email. So, but the other one, which is on behalf of, I will see that, oh, assistant send email on behalf of manager. So that's the way it works. Please, I would like that you remember all of this. Now, let's quickly look at, a few things on uh, how to manage all these things. Let me see, sign in here. Give me a minute to sign into my portal. Okay. Okay. So this is me trying to log into my tenant. That's my Microsoft 365 tenant. So I can show you a few things with regards to um, creating and managing emails. Okay, so I'm here. First, before we go to Exchange Online, one of the things you have to do before you can give somebody a mailbox is this. You have to create users. But before we go there, let's see I will show all so that you can show me everything here. Let's see the license that we have. To know the license that we have so that we can know the size of mailboxes that we are entitled to. I will go to billing on the admin center, right? This is your admin center. I'll go to billing and then expand billing, and I'll go to licenses. So yeah, as we'll be having okay, I'm having M365 E5 developer license. What this gives me access to is because it's E5, this is enterprise, this enterprise version. So that means I'll be getting 100 gig. So the plan that comes with this E5 is plan 2. So it means I'll be getting 100 gig of mailbox storage. Remember the plan here. Plan 2 will give you 100 gigabytes of mailbox storage. So if I pick a user, just for you to see, I'll go to users, active users, and let's see the list of users that we have. Yeah, I have, let me see. I have a license. Okay, let's pick Amarachi, right? I'll pick Amarachi and I expand the property of Amarachi. Then I'll go to licenses and apps. I go to licenses and apps. Yeah, I want to see, this is a license that is assigned to this user. Let's see, does he have a mailbox? We should see, yes, Exchange Online Plan 2 is what I said. Anybody that have the E-plan, either E3 and E5, E3 and E5, they actually come with Plan 2. But there is another E, which is E1. E1 is Plan 1 that is there. It's enterprise, but not enterprise that does not need so much mailbox size. They can go for E1. It will give them Plan 1. So right now, this user have Plan 2 mailbox. So that means I have 100 gig of mailbox storage. Now, if we need to, let's go to Exchange Online. Let's just first walk around Exchange Online admin center. So for you to see the different admin center, just like when we log in, then I didn't see everything until I said show all, right? Show all, then expand more admin centers for me. But let's say the admin center you are looking for is not under here, then you will click the all admin centers. You click all admin centers, although I have Exchange Online here, but I can also click all admin centers and I will see my Exchange Online admin center as one of the apps within this page as well. So I guess this is internet. It's taking some time. So, okay, yeah, this is it. So we have Exchange here as well. So just click Exchange. It will always take you to another tab. It will always open another tab for you, so that in case you need to come back to the main admin center, you can always go back there. See, yeah. The only thing is internet. My internet is a bit slow this evening. All right, now we are here. I'll just close out on all this. Yes. Okay. So here, I'm on Exchange Admin Center, right? Now this Exchange Admin Center, you have home. If I go to home, it's just going to show me a breadcrumb to some of these locations. You will see things like recipient on the home, see things like recipient, you might see things like Mayflow, you just see them, differently like that. But since we are here, it took me directly to recipients. Now under recipients, yes, here, under recipients, we have groups, we have mailboxes, we have groups, we have resources. One of the type of, okay, maybe I will have titled that mailbox type, I will have called it recipient type, right? One of the things I did not talk about is contacts. Contacts are just like you say, contacts. You create a contact in your mailbox. Now, contact is like a card, like a business card that tells the information, the email address, the first name, the name of the person that you are trying to store the information from. And when you create contact here, what you are doing is you are giving everyone within the organization to be able to pick the contact from Exchange Online from their Outlook when they want to send email. So now let's just go back into the mailboxes. Now, these are the user mailboxes. These are the mailboxes that we have. Type of mailboxes or type of recipient type, we have user mailboxes. There are two types of mailboxes. We have user mailboxes, we have shared mailboxes, so sorry, three. And then we have resource mailboxes. Remember, we talk about those three: user mailboxes, shared mailboxes, and resource mailboxes. Now, before this come here, right, before a mailbox is created for somebody, if I create an account right now, if I come back to the standard admin center and I come to users, and let's say I want to provision a mailbox for a user, I need to first create a user. After creating the user, you saw that we went to the user of the user property of someone of Amarachi, and we are able to see that a license was assigned. Without a license for Exchange Online, they cannot have Exchange mailbox. So keep that in mind. For you to create Exchange mailbox in Microsoft 365, you need the user to have access to have license. So if you look here, you notice that there is no option to add mailbox. It's only giving us option to add shared mailbox. Shared mailbox. That's what it's giving us option to. There's an information I've not given you here. Now, a user mailbox have license attached to it. But one thing with shared mailbox is they don't need a license. However, let me bring my board up again. Let's see this. Okay. Now, if I have if I have a user mailbox here, I have user. This user will have his own this user will have his own primary mailbox. So that means there's a username, there's a credential, a username and a password. A name and a password for this particular user. Now, if I have a shared mailbox on the other hand, a shared mailbox does not have login. It does not have username and password. So if I've given this user access to this shared mailbox, what it means is every time the user wants to access the shared mailbox, he will use his own personal credential to access this shared mailbox. Which means the user must have his own primary, that's his own individual mailbox, before he can gain access to a shared mailbox. Without a primary mailbox, you can't gain access to shared mailbox. So keep that at the back of your mind, right? So now, moving on. This is where we manage all user mailboxes and then shared mailboxes, right? And then when it comes to Microsoft 365 group or groups, either Microsoft 365 group or distribution group, this is where we will see the group information. You notice here, every group here that is on this tab, you have the sub tab to move from one group to the other. You have these groups here. And like I said, if you look at the tabs here, you have teams. So this group right now, they have teams attached to it. So that teams, members of this group can use the teams to for meetings, appointments, calendar management, and so on and so forth, right? And then there is SharePoint also attached to it. Remember what we talk about. Then you have the distribution group. I don't have any yet. So by the time we want to create, we'll be able to create one. We can create across board as well. Then we have what we call, it's still a distribution group, but it is dynamic. Dynamic, what does it mean? If I create just ordinary distribution group, which is under distribution list here, if I create this, I will manually add who I want to be the member of that group, to be a member. I will manually add them. But if I use this dynamic, it means people can discover it within the organization and request to be member of it. Now we can configure it in such a way that when people request to be a member, the group can automatically accept them without, anybody accepting. But you can also give it what we call moderator, which means somebody will manage or man this group. When people request, the moderator will get the notification and accept them or reject them. Then this is for email-enabled security groups. Every group created here, they are originally security groups, but we now enable them to be able to receive email, right? This is where you manage your groups. Now going to resource mailboxes, right? Here, you can create here, you can add room resource, you can add equipment resources, right? Okay, your projector is part of equipment. Depending on the nature of the business of your organization, you might have beyond projector that you want to add here. You might have your cars, you might have projector, you might have which other thing, maybe a mowing machine or something. You just have those equipment and you can create so that people can book for them against everybody just going to the people who manages I've forgotten the name, just came out. Let's say admin. Just go to admin and say, we have a meeting. And while you are there, somebody else is also there. So you can actually manage all of that here. Then contacts as well. You can manage your contacts here. I even have a few contacts. So which means every user within the organization can actually pick this. They will see it in their Outlook and pick it and be able to send email to and from it, right? I mean, to it rather. That's um, that's all about. So all of these that we are talking about, even tomorrow's session, and then I think a few other sessions is still on Exchange Online, where you'll be able to get a lot as a concern Exchange Online. We just want to give you as much information, but basic for now, so that you are not confused. Now, one of the other things that we have here is what we call mail flow, right? This is where you manage anything like, okay, let's say a user message trace allow you to be able to trace messages that is going in and out of the organization. If somebody complains to you that they are not receiving email, you ask, a particular customer send email, yeah, has been sending it, but it's not getting to me. So you can come and trace here with the email address of the recipient, and you will see all the emails that has been sent to that particular recipient, or you will see the email that that recipient have also sent out, or that user have also sent out. So this will be able to help you to tell, oh, please tell them your email, their mail is not hitting us, it's not hitting our server at all, right? You can create rules. Rules allow you to be able to, you know what rule is. Rule is either when this happen, or when something happen, do this, or when this email coming, please redirect it to this other person, or redirect it to this group. That is what you can use rule for. You can also use it to say you don't want certain user to be able to send mail to certain places, or you don't want certain email from a particular email group, email address that is not in your organization to come into the organization. So you can use rule to achieve that. And so this majorly mail flow is all about email going out and coming in. This is where you can do all of those management, right? And you have roles. We have time, we'll be able to talk a bit about roles within the program as well. You have roles. Roles are, you have admin roles. Admin roles allow you, if you have people in the IT department, you have different workloads within the IT department. You have somebody that is going to be managing the Exchange server, or the Exchange online platform for your organization. So you can assign the appropriate role to that particular, or to the people who will be managing it. So they have different roles here that you can assign to people, help desk role, and here you can see brief description of what they can do. And we're just walking, over this so that you can know what it look like. Migration, maybe when we do advanced class, you will be able to see a lot of information with when it comes to migration. There are different migrations that you can do. You can either migrate, maybe an organization is currently using, they're currently using Google, Google Workspace or Gmail for their messages, and they want to move to Microsoft 365. You will need to help them migrate their email from that Gmail and bring it to Microsoft 365. So this is where you'll be doing your migration work, right? Or somebody like big organization that already have Office Exchange on their on-prem, they have their email solution before. It might not be Exchange server, it might be something else. It might be Mailer Demo, it might be Yahoo Mail, anything, any kind of email, but they want to move it here. So this is where you'll be managing all of that. Then when it comes to mobile, so mobile, this is where you configure settings when it comes to Exchange Online on how your user use their mobile devices, the kind of policy that is attached to them, who can receive email on mobile, whether they can open things like they can use Outlook, or they can use a browser on their phone to access email on their phone. You can use this, you manage it here. Now, when it comes to reports, you want to get insight into the mail that is going in and out of the organization. You can use both insights and report. Report will give you things like mail flow, like how many messages come in total that come into your organization in a week, in a day, in a particular hour. You can use that to get it here. How many messages went out? The non-delivery message reports. That's maybe somebody is sending email and they are getting a non-delivery message. That means the server is unable to deliver the message. So it will generate some kind of error in that message to the user. So you can use this. So this is where you get some of those information that can help you to quickly troubleshoot or know how your users are really using emails within your organization, right? Then public folder. This is no longer being is no longer widely being used. It was very popular in the early days of Microsoft Exchange, but now people are rather moving to use either Microsoft 365 group or they are using shared mailbox to achieve this. Organizational setting, this is where you're able to set things like sharing, whether you want to share email, you want a situation where your users will be able to share what we call free busy. So how does this work? In You have a partner company and you want their users to be able to see your users calendar, to see when they are free, when they have meetings, so that if they want to schedule meeting with them, they can easily see, oh, Titi is free for this time, okay, they will book an appointment with me, or Titi is busy, we can use that to achieve, we can use this organizational sharing to achieve that. Then other settings and troubleshooting as a concern Microsoft 365 or Exchange Online. This is the Exchange Admin Center. This is where you do a lot of your work when it comes to managing Exchange or email within your organization. Okay. Quickly, let's see how to create a mailbox. What I'm going to do here is to release some license so that we can be able to see how it works. Let me see, who can I release here? Okay. Hoping this person is currently not using the mailbox, but I'm going to release it. As time go on, you get to understand how do you manage before you release a user's mailbox, what you must do. Otherwise, they will lose or you will lose data. So we'll talk about that in the nearest future. So now I'll just release this. The purpose for now is to have a license that we'll use for another person. Okay. So this person shouldn't have a license anymore. Okay. Doesn't have M365 license, but others. So now we are just going to quickly create a user. I want to create a mailbox, but like I said, a mailbox cannot exist without a user currently existing. So M365, okay, M365 mentorship. Let's see, let's put one. Yes, we need another one. When you are creating user, there are a few important things that you must take note of. Anything that is asterisk that is star is important. So display name is important and username is important. See that first name and last name are not, but it's always good you add those information. So username, let's pick M365 .m, or leave it as that. And then I've selected the domain that I will use. So while creating, I know you must have seen all of this last week. You can either create password automatically, and if I say no, it will ask me to put password for this user. So purpose is not really how to create user, but mailbox. So I'm just going to put something simple so that we can uh, Okay, so I can choose to require the user to change their password at next logon. But like I said, that's not the focus. So we're going to just go next. So here it's asking us to assign a license to the user. Show up, show up, show up, show up. Oof. So I expected it to show me the available license. All right. So one of the things while you are assigning license is to select the location where the user resides or where is going to be using this service from. The reason is so that you can have, they can provision, Microsoft will provision server that is closer to the location of the user. That's why you have to select. So I've just select that the user is located here in Nigeria. And okay, Nigeria. Then I only have one license available. I select the license and have automatically, it has assigned this license have 72 apps. Now take note, sometimes somebody might say, oh, can I just assign Exchange Online to a user here? Since this user is only using Exchange Online, that means other apps are free for another user to use. No, it does not work that way. Once you select a license here to assign to a user, that user is consuming that license, whether he use all the apps or not. The license is already assigned. So license cannot be shared in this case. Please keep that in mind as well. So here, our concern is just Exchange Online we want to create. I'm going to unselect all, and then I'll just pick Exchange Online, right? And I can click, that's all. Let's click next. Yes, if the user need a role, you have to be doing something, I can put it, but no need. I can put other information here. It's going to ask me to fill other information if I want. It's not compulsory, it's optional setting. So let's just go on. I've created the user, and this is a summary of what we have done. This user has this display name, it has a password, and it has a license assigned to it. And the license they have is majorly Exchange Online. So now you might see some things. You are seeing 4 more, right? That's because there are some licenses that are assigned and cannot be removed by default. It's automatically assigned. So click finish adding. So now this user has been created. Click close. Okay. We'll go to Exchange Online if this user now have a mailbox, or it might take like a few seconds, but let's see the properties of the user before we go. Click M365 Mentorship 1, and here you now have different tabs, including mail. If you have a user that does not have a license, you will not see mail. So if I click the mail, so right now, the mailbox is not ready for this user. It's still being prepared. Okay, so that's simply how to create, a user and assign a mailbox license to the user. So let's see, refresh. Okay. Let's come here and see. But I'll go again. This Exchange Online. Exchange Online. Going to recipient and then we'll go to mailboxes. My internet get as it did today. Okay. So do we have M365 here yet? Not yet. and either do this or we search for it. Still provision. It's not supposed to take time. Don't know why. Maybe it's my internet. Supposed to take so much time. Okay. So we'll come back and check later once it has been created. Quickly, I'm going to open another mailbox here so that we can see the properties of the mailbox, right? Have Amarachi here again. I'll pick Amarachi and I'm going into the properties. Now, right
Hello,
from here,
sorry, ma.
yes,
Sorry to cut you there, ma, to interrupt, ma. So I think
yes,
okay, we're almost we're still going to have a demo class tomorrow, right? I'm just
yes, yes,
confirming.
yes,
Okay, so
yes.
that
Okay, so
because it's
we can
almost
end
10.
this one today.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, ma. So that we
Okay.
can continue tomorrow. Then just take some
Okay, that's fine.
questions to run. Thank you so much, ma.
Yeah, you're welcome. So that's fine. At least we've seen how to create mailbox today. Tomorrow we'll continue from there. Okay. So now let's stop there and come back to questions. And we have your questions now. Does exchange okay? We have to
Yeah.
scroll.
Okay, I think one question says, thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much for that wonderful explanation. Someone is asking, what's the difference between a user and a group?
A what?
A user,
A,
the difference between a user and a group. I
okay,
think
different
even
between
the
a
word
user
itself
and a group.
explains.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay, so a user, like I said, hold on, please.
Sorry, can we turn on the chat for them to be able to answer questions? Just a
Okay, man, I'm doing that now, please.
Okay, sorry about that.
The
So
chat is on.
the chat is. Oh, sorry, I didn't get it.
The chat is on now. Chat is on.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. So the difference between a user and a group. Now, a user mailbox is an individual mailbox. It belongs is individual in nature. It belongs to one single person, right? It belongs to you. Just like your Gmail. Your Gmail is a user mailbox. It is just for you, right? That's a user. I would say it's an individual container or mailbox that allow you to be able to send, receive email, manage your calendar, and all of that. Why a group mailbox or group is is like a container that group a set of users or group of people together. So this the example. Sales department have 10 members. Now, anytime we want to send email to the sales department such that all the 10 people in the sales department get that communication or they get that email, we need a group to achieve that. So we're going to create a group account or a group, either a group mailbox, and then put all the 10 members in the sales department in that group. So anytime we send mail to the group, every member in the group automatically get a copy of that communication. Can we move to the next one? I hope I've been able to answer that for you. Okay.
Yes, ma.
So if you want to help
So
me
the
so that
next
except you want me to
question.
just speak. Okay, I think I've seen
Okay.
where you are. So the next
Okay.
one say, what do you do in situation where user mailbox is full and unable to receive any new mail at that point? So what you do, you have different things by which you can do. One is to quickly clean up your mailbox. When I mean clean up, You can look for emails that are not important, like marketing emails, emails that are really not important. Clean up your junk mailbox, your junk folder, clean it up, clean up your deleted item folder. It will release some space for you. Then look into your inbox, clean up your inbox. Emails that are not important, like you are receiving email for community stuff within your company's email, and then now you cannot receive important email anymore. So you clear those emails, like either you delete them or you can save them, like save them to a folder and then delete them from after you save, then you delete those emails from your mailbox. So it automatically release some space for you to be able to keep receiving email or send. Another thing you can do, or after that immediate action, you can then go move forward to say you want to create a retention policy so that you can send some of the old emails. You can pick old emails and send them to archive mailbox for you. Then when you send it to archive mailbox, it will free up the mailbox for you to now continue to receive your mail. Now, the next question says, what is the difference between Office 365 Mail and OWA? Office 365 Mail. Office 365 Mail, yes, let me say it is an account, right? An account in Office 365 that have access, that have an Exchange Online mailbox that you can log in to send and receive your email. Now, OWA is called Outlook Web Access. It's just a way for you to access your Office 365 mail. Like I said the other time, you have different clients. When we say clients, your laptop that have Office Outlook app installed on it is a client. Your browser, your Edge browser, your Chrome browser is a client that you can use to access email. But your Office 365 email is your actual mailbox that you are using, you are accessing through OWA, which is called Outlook Web Access. Just instead of using your mail or your phone, just open your browser and access your email. That is what OWA means. Then, what is the difference between a shared mailbox and a distribution group? Now, a shared mailbox, like I said before, is a mailbox that gives access to multiple people at the same time. While a distribution group is just a group. That group does not have a mailbox attached to it. So you cannot say, go into the distribution group 1 and go and check a particular email. No. Every member of that distribution group, any email that is sent to the distribution group, goes straight into the mailboxes of all the members. While for shared mailbox, any email sent to the shared mailbox goes straight into the shared mailbox, the mailbox that is associated with the shared mailbox. So every person that needs access can go into that shared mailbox and go and view the content and make use of it. The next question says, what is the difference between shared mailbox and group email? I think I just explained that up. Next, please, I was not given an account because I didn't. Okay, please help us sort that out. Then someone said, please, is it possible to share a user calendar to another user from the admin center? So yes, we can. Now, an admin can be, a request can come to say, admin, please give access to user one calendar, give it to user 2 so that user 2 can be able to manage it. So like we talk about manager and assistant, the manager can choose to give that calendar access to his PA, to his personal assistant, for instance, or they can make requests to the admin to say, oh, please, admin, help us do. So you can do it from the admin center, or you can do it directly from the user's mailbox. Okay, so that's it. If you are doing it from admin center, it means you have some form of admin right, and you can also do it using PowerShell. Achieve that as well.
Hello.
Now you
Yes.
talked.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Sorry for cutting
Okay.
you.
The
All right.
timing, good 18, you are, by the grace of God, you are still here tomorrow. So
Yeah.
maybe you just want to take note of those questions and see how you can address them because we are
Tomorrow.
already behind schedule. Yes. So
Okay. Okay.
thank you
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
much. I'm sure that everyone on this call will confirm that you did a nice job. I listened to you from the beginning to the end and I learned a lot from you. If not anything, how to even explain to people these concepts in a very simplified manner. And yeah, I can see the emojis flying up to confirm how much impact you have made today. Thank you for maximizing your time and for hitting it um, on the main points. So I'm just thinking how much we can also do tomorrow if we can do as much as this today. So again, thank you on behalf of everyone. So we'll hold on questions, but there is a good news for all of us tonight. But before that,
Mm.
we would have to stop the recording so that we can go ahead to make an announcement of records. So, Emmanuel, with your permission, I'm